Is there supposed to be a certain protocol for people to check in?
No, and I begin with me, and then he can speak, and they can speak for the other generation. But I'm a never, you know what I mean? We don't have time for no sucker shit like that.
But what is the reason why you moved to Houston?
Well, look, first of all, like every time I've experienced Houston, like when I was out here, I ran into random acts of kindness. Like the people have been good to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of the places that I'm like, man, or maybe Houston, like Houston or Miami popped into my head.
Mm-hmm.
They said 58%. I said, what? You my partner? IRS is my partner now? Oh no, all you get is a Yankee hat? I'm going to Houston.
Okay, y'all, buckle up because 50 Cent just tossed a grenade into the industry and the explosion, whew, it's shaken every corner of the game. This ain't just another rap feud, nope. 50 is dropping bombs, and these accusations way deeper than anyone imagined. At first, people rolled their eyes, oh, 50 being petty again. But baby, no, this time it wasn't just him refusing to check in with J. Prince in Houston, which, let's be real, was already spicy. This time, 50 said there was a real plan to get rid of him, like permanently. And he's not just hinting, he's naming names, loud and clear. And when he brought Supreme McGriff's son into the mix, whew, that's when the internet lost its mind. And wait, Rick Ross might be tangled up in this too? Yup, 50 says Ross is cozying up to his enemies, feeding this fire with kerosene. Now everything makes sense. Why 50 dipped from Houston so fast, why his G-Unit studio plan vanished into thin air, why things suddenly got quiet. Something was definitely brewing. Let's dig in.
We need to start a new relationship with Houston. I'm excited about it. I had an opportunity. I had a lot of fun things for the kids. I think that they're really gonna get a chance to appreciate and enjoy it. And
everything started boiling in Houston, J. Prince's turf. A place where, let's be honest, the man doesn't just live, he rules. When celebs pull up, they're expected to check in. They say it's out of respect, but we know better. That sounds like pressure wrapped in politeness. And it's not just for show. Even some who do check in still end up in drama. So what's really the game here?
Supposed to be a certain protocol for people to check in?
No, and I begin with me, and then he can speak, and they can speak for the other generation. But I'm a never, you know what I mean? We don't have time for no sucker shit like that.
Enter 50 Cent. The minute he decided to relocate to Houston full-time, people held their breath. J. Prince expected the usual kiss the ring routine, but 50? He said hell no. He flat out refused to check in, made it loud and clear. He doesn't owe anyone respect just because they run the streets. 50's got his own money, his own empire, his own people, and he wasn't about to bow down to any self-declared gatekeeper. That move, oh, it stung. And it wasn't just a vacation or short stay. 50 literally said, I love New York, but I live in Houston now. Sure, folks said it was for tax reasons, and yeah, New York taxes are criminal, but baby, that's not the full picture. Not even close.
We have the honor of saying to him, he's our 2022 Grand Marshal. Give it up to Curtis 50 Jackson.
He wasn't just trying to save a buck. He came to build a kingdom. We're talking a $20 million, 0 cents G-Unit film and TV studio, liquor branding, school initiatives, everything. He wasn't just moving in, he was planting his flag. But he did it right in J. Prince's backyard, without so much as a nod. No check-in, no permission, just big boss energy. Naturally, that ruffled some serious feathers. Word started spreading. Behind closed doors, some people were getting salty. Rumors said 50 was getting low-key blocked from some deals. People were watching him, waiting for him to fumble.
You know I have the resilience to go against anybody. Like, there's nobody that's too ill. Those are the guys that you would choose not to go against at that point. This in the environment.
Some crews allegedly were plotting behind the scenes, but 50, he didn't back down, he turned up. In his eyes, this whole check-in thing, it's extortion with a smile. And honestly, he's not wrong. Just look at the history. Takeoff checked in, still ended up gone. Jacob the jeweler, pressed. Even XXXTentacion stayed quiet and still got caught up. So 50's like, why pay for protection that clearly ain't protecting nobody? And just like that, he ghosted. No warning. One minute he's setting up shop, the next, he's out, gone. Quietly pulled out of Houston, shut down the studio plan, and rerouted everything to Shreveport, Louisiana. No press release, no shade, but the silence, it said everything.
It's for you, man. You the only one in Miami with that, baby. You know see what it is. You know the vibes. You see what it is. Yeah.
2020. And y'all, this is the same city that handed him the damn key to the streets, so why bounce like that? Then he drops a one-liner in an interview. Houston didn't embrace me the way I expected. That hurt. You could feel it. Something had shifted. The vibes, off. And even while 50 was getting love, like literally being the Grand Marshal of Houston's Thanksgiving Day Parade, having his own day, November 24 equals 50 Cent Day, behind the scenes, there was heat. J. Prince, reportedly furious. To him, 50 was taking up too much spotlight, flexing too hard, and still refusing to check in. And 50 did refuse to check in. This wasn't about clout anymore. This was about control, and 50 was yanking it away. But then, oh baby, the plot thickens. Just when folks thought this was cooling off, boom, Supreme McGriff's name slides into the picture. And if you know anything about 50 Cent's past, you know this name hits different. This ain't just rap beef. This is personal, historic, life or death type tension. Supreme? That's the man whose crew people say had something to do with 50 getting shot 9 times. And why? Because back in the early 2000s, 50 did the unthinkable. He dropped Ghetto Quran, a track that basically aired out dirty secrets of Queen's OGs. And Supreme's name was right there. The streets didn't see that as music. They saw that as snitching. Supreme, he didn't let that slide. Not long after, 50 gets lit up. But he lived, and he turned that near-death experience into the rocket fuel that launched him into superstardom. Supreme, he got locked up for life, but he never snitched, never folded. That silence earned him respect behind bars and in the streets. Meanwhile, 50 was out here turning the trauma into millions. Songs, interviews, books, movies, he monetized it all. And Supreme, he watched, silently, never forgot. But let's not forget Irv Gotti, another heavyweight. He and Supreme were tight, like brothers. Irv even helped fund Supreme's legal battles. Loyalty was real between them. But 50, he took a sledgehammer to everything they built. He didn't just end Ja Rule, he torched the entire Murder Inc. empire, burned it to the ground. And even after Irv passed from a stroke, 50 couldn't let it go. He posted a hookah pic next to a fake gravestone with the caption, "I'm smoking on that Gotti pack, nay God bless him, lol." And the day before, when the news first broke, 50 tweeted, "Damn, I wanted him to see my new shows." Cold-blooded, that disrespect. It lit a fire under McGriff Jr., Supreme's son. He wasn't gonna sit silent. He clapped back hard on IG. "If I said I was smoking on your mother and grandfather pack, ninjas would say I'm wrong, right?" Called 50 a clown. Double down. Y'all really love this clown. And that was it. Lines were drawn. For McGriff Jr., Irv Gotti wasn't just an industry peer, he was family. So when 50 disrespected Irv, it felt like a spit in Supreme's face too. And right after, 50 started getting weird, posting cryptic captions, snakes in the grass, subtle disses. No names, but the vibes were heavy. You could feel it. Something was brewing. Then it blew up. 50 allegedly leaked DMs and convos suggesting J. Prince's crew and McGriff Jr. were in talks, plotting something major. Whether it was pressure, threats, or worse, 50 made sure the world knew, but instead of laying low, 50 went full troll mode. He dared J. Prince to come for him, publicly, loudly, fearless. And then, here comes Rick Ross, because of course, 50 and Ross been at war for over a decade. Lawsuits, kids dragged into it, petty jabs, full-on chaos. But recently, Ross was spotted hanging with folks tied to Supreme's circle. To the outside, could've looked random, but to 50, oh hell no. That wasn't coincidence, that was strategy. Ross was moving chess pieces, standing with the very people whose names are tied to attempts on 50's life. And that's when things went from messy to deadly serious. Word on the street is that this meetup wasn't just casual. Insiders are whispering it was the opening act of a new setup. Allegedly, McGriff Jr. is done with the cool guy act, especially after 50 kept dragging Irv's name even posthumously. And now, J. Prince is allegedly back in the mix, circling, watching, waiting, and that raises the stakes. J. Prince isn't just mad about the no check-in. Allegedly, he's trying to set an example. Because if 50 gets away with stomping into Houston, refusing the rules, clowning the OGs, and still moving free, that sends a message to the whole industry that the check-in era is dead. And if anybody could kill that system, it's 50 Cent. But let's not pretend this is some petty spat, because when you start looking into J. Prince's history, it gets dark. We're talking decades deep street connections. His name was ringing in federal files back in the ADS. Word is, he wasn't just a music mogul. He allegedly ran a massive operation stretching from Mexico through Texas all the way to Chicago. That ain't no small hustle. That's international business. And J. Prince, he was right in the middle. Around that same time, whispers say he linked up with Larry Hoover, the founder of the Gangster Disciples. That connection changed the game. Houston to the Midwest, a pipeline of power. Then came Rap-A-Lot Records. On paper, just a music label, but the street said otherwise. Folks believed it was a front, a mask, a way to clean money and move behind the scenes. And guess what? The DEA believed it too. By 1988, they launched a full investigation, wiretaps, shipments tracked, drivers flipped, they were ready. But just when it seemed like the feds had him, poof, the case vanished, quietly. No charges, no headlines, just dust. That don't happen by accident, that takes serious pull. Fast forward to today, and now 50 might be poking at a sleeping giant. Some say he's paranoid, others say he's seen something the rest of us don't. So what is this really? Is 50 Cent being smart, peeping the setup before it detonates? Or is this just the most explosive ego war the rap game's seen in years? Let us know what you think in the comments, because if this madness continues, and oh, it will, you know we'll be right here spilling every drop of tea. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, and don't blink. This story's not even close to being over.